channel here's my YouTube channel, JSMWNYC. And please, if you can go and check out my channel and enjoy my videos and content, and subscribe to JSMWNYC. This video will focus on how even in an advanced age as a juggler, as I get older, you can still, in practice, reach your practice goals. And my practice goal last year and this year was to continue to qualify 8 rings. So usually my practice for rings is between an hour and 90 minutes. I mean, as you learn to time manage better as you grow up, and you learn to consolidate, and you learn to budget your time, especially as a juggler. If you're practicing for a show, you need a certain discipline and maybe an extra hour. When you're just practicing for yourself, or you're doing maintenance work on your patterns, you're learning something new. I'd say that practicing for a show, you're learning something new. You might want to have that extra hour set aside. And then practicing for yourself, you want to figure out ways to consolidate at the same time and get your work done efficiently, get your practice work done efficiently. So I am able to, at my age, I'll be 50 this year, I'm still able to, within an hour to 90 minutes of ring juggling, qualify 8 rings. And I don't mean that I qualified on the first attempt. I mean, I'll explain to you in this video that I do it in a logical, as progression in the juggling workout. And here are just a few tips on things you can do to make your base strong for a feat like this. The first thing that I'd like to say is that yes, when it comes to ring juggling, that working on the base pattern for minute runs is good. So here's a video from a few years ago of me at my graduate school, just juggling 3 and then 4 and then 5 rings for 1 minute. And this is a good way of, also a good way, maybe I would do this at least a couple times a month, like just have a practice where you're just doing minute runs. It helps you reconnect with the ground state and just the basic patterns of juggling, with 3, 4, 5, those sets. And then it also helps with your other goals when you want to push the envelope, when you want to learn a new side swap or new pirouettes. Just checking your base form. You notice in this 5 club cascade run, which is in real time, that my feet are moving with a lot of baby steps. So this, even at my age, like, I'm aware of this as a performer. It's not good form. So I have other videos on my website, with my feet in place, which is proper form. But I was really tired on that day, and I don't know why. I didn't think I was studying, or it was after work. I was just like, well, I want to get these minute runs on video. And when I started to do the 5-minute run, I took maybe 5 or 7 takes with my feet in place, and I wasn't getting the full 240 catches. So I was like, I just got to get a video. I got to move on with my life. I just want to get this minute run done. And so that was this video. I didn't return the next day. I mean, usually when you have a goal, if you take a day or 2, you can get back to their level. But as you can see, I'm not as proficient as I used to be when I was younger. My next video is, I do also recommend other techniques to strengthen the base pattern, such as feet in place. Here I'm standing on a board on some wooden boxes that I built myself. And then for performing, to just be elevated a little bit higher so that the folks in the back can see you. And I'm also balancing a club. So in order to perform this feat, you want to practice the 5-ring cascade by itself with feet in place. You also want to practice a club balance with feet in place without moving. And then you want to practice a club balance with a juggle. And again, I recommend, focusing on the balance, just keeping the rings in your field of vision. But then if you drop the rings, try and keep the balance going and try and do the connection that way. So here is a run of me putting all 3 together, feet in place with the club balance, and also checking my My feet are about shoulder width apart, pointing forward, and my back is not stiff, but I'm trying to align myself from a. That was at a gym that closed out of this practice even after hours, and just make sure that I close the door at the end of the gym. It's also very special events while they were setting up for an event. So I got some extra practice time. I still enjoy whenever I have a free day to practice for myself. The next feat is just long runs with 6. I mean, with 5 rings, as I said, a run over a minute, or if you don't have time for that, a run of 100 catches. So certainly a run of 100 catches, or I recommend 140. When it comes to 6, also practice long run. I guess my long run goal for 6 was always over 100. So it was a daily event for me to do runs of over 120, because I remember counting the 10 sideways, the 10 qualifiers. And then going for longer ones was possible, but I wasn't the type of performer. I don't know why. It's just the other jugglers that I knew that were better than me, like they could do 6 rings for a minute. And maybe that's sort of like a mind trick, but I never really spent the time to go over like 120s. So I was like, I'm okay. I'm not that good, but I could do runs of 150. But I don't think I don't know if I have on record me, juggling 6 rings for a full. Here, this is the synchronous pattern, so it's also 6 rings. That last one was asynchronous, or alternating. But here, they're at the same time. There's patches, or at least aligned as best as possible, so that's synchronous. And here's a run also of over 102 catches. Again, I don't know if juggling jam. And this, again, was just before COVID, both of those videos, so they are recent. So these are things that still can be accomplished in the 40s. So I guess it was 48 in these videos. The next one was an isolation. When I'd go to the gym and I was there for 3-4 hours, I would also work on isolations. It was a good run for me of 92 catches. So again, I do recommend with 5 and 6 getting the runs with feet in place. So for me, this was my worked on isolations with 7 with qualifiers for a while. It's a little bit different. I just saw there at 6 where I started to back. Just having that sort of problem with 7 and 8. But I'd like to get back to that as I clean up my patterns more and tighten them up. In terms of 7 rings, if you're going to qualify 8, I recommend doing 5 to 10 qualifies of 7 rings. I mean, if you're a performer, like I used to perform like 7 balls, 28 catches on the street. So in practice, I'd get at least 5 successes. I remember I did a lot of 42s and 56s, so longer runs. So again, here's a good run for me of this year in February of 7 rings, where I had a good practice of 26 catches. So this isn't like a first attempt. I can just like pick up the 7 rings and go for long runs. So I usually qualify it about 5 times, at least, like I said, 5 to 10 times, and then go for the longer runs. So this brings us to this video for today and the practice techniques that I've mentioned. And on this day, here's what I did. I did 3 and 4 warm-ups with a few side swaps, 5 rings, 100 catches. I didn't even do a full minute. And I didn't do any 5-ring side swaps. I mean, I can do 6x446x, or I could do 744. I could do some of the basic side strokes. I can do half pirouettes. But again, I only had about an hour, so I didn't go for those. I didn't work on those patterns that I used to do as a daily practice. Instead, I just did 5-ring cascade for 100 catches, and then I began my work on 6, 7, and 8 rings. So again, on this day, Memorial Day Sunday, May 30th, when I did my 3 and 4 ring warm-ups, just basic patterns and side swaps, and then 5 rings isolated for 100 catches, feet in place, and then I began with 6 rings. So, like I said, I can, if I try for 10 or 15 minutes, get a good run of over 100 with 6 rings. But what's sufficient for practice is just to do a run of at least 36. This is what I really found last year. So if you can do 36 catches with 6 rings, and my pattern's pretty solid, so I can do this, then I think that was 48. But then I just switched to async rings, and here I do a run of at least 36. And I didn't really push it. Again, I did a run of 52 catches. Moving around a bit, so I'm not happy about that, but I still feel like the circuits are there, and really confident. So that was really my 6-ring workout. Then I go to 7 rings, and on this day, it's like I don't feel like going for long runs, but I'd like to qualify in 10. So in this video, this is qualifying. And you see that was pretty solid with feet in place. That was pretty much an isolation. Back is, I've gained some weight, and as you can see, my posture isn't a little bit aligned, and my shoulders are shrugged a little bit here in the second success. But again, one at a time. And you're seeing an edited video, so some of these did take 2 or 3 trials, but I'm a fairly consistent juggler. You'll find also as you get older, like sometimes I get 2, 3 in a row, because I mean, I got that one at but sometimes you do it at these frustrating moments, like after my 5th success, all of a sudden you miss it like 7 times in a row. What's my problem? I get very frustrated. I just, I can do this. I can still do this. I work so hard at this. So there are gaps like that, but on average, if you take all 10 of these successes, all 7 rings qualify 10 times in practice, it was about maybe. It was less than 30 trials. That's usually my goal. So I want to do it with focus, with enough mental focus to better like 1 out of 3 practicing these. And it's not like I'm performing these qualifiers in shows. Most of my work was street performing, so it wasn't practical to do more than 6 rings, 7 rings with 4 around. Vectors. Sometimes a little easier because the 8 rings and qualify them. I mean, with 7 rings I do. With 7 rings I do maybe I do the 3 flashes, and on the street I did a lot of runs of 8 catches. For whatever reason, it was fine, because there would be like that amount of time, those 2 seconds before a light wind started to mess up the pattern. So it's one of these weird things. It wasn't a flash on the street with 7 rings. A lot of times it was 8 catches, 8 or 10. I don't know why, but that's my experience as a street performer. I don't know if anyone else has street performed like 200 days a year, like done it for a living for 10, 20 years like me, but that was on the street when there's wind, when wind's a factor, or weather. Usually 8 or 10. I don't know. That's a topic for another video I could do on that, but I don't know why. I just didn't do the flash and collect. It was always, I'd like to go for the qualified, so I think I would write it down in my little journal. 8, 10, 8 over and over. It was usually on my way to the qualifier. So that's kind of funny if you think about it. All right, so for 8 rings, qualify the left hand. Make sure that I usually start with the right this year for some reason. I guess I'm a right-handed pitcher, so I can do 12 or 16 catches, sometimes 20. When I was younger, runs of 28 or whatever catches with the. So I qualify the right, make sure I qualify the left, and then do 3 flashes, sync flashes. Make sure, and really tight though, feet in place. Make sure the circuits are there, the loops are there, and get ready to qualify. So after I do those 3 sets of flashes with 8 ring sync, I think, okay, keep it narrow. That's really what's going on in my hand. Keep it narrow. Try and get those catches so the hands are here. And there's a sort of a strength zone when you're a numbers juggler where you don't have to do as much work if your hands are in that zone. So I want to catch the rings and get my hands to that position of strength where I can launch them back up again. And so here was my 8 ring qualify on May 30th. So again, that second set got a little wild, and I think even one of them bounced off the ceiling. You see there. And then the dog came running up barking at me. There it is. Another qualified with 8 rings. I'd like to pause now and thank you for watching my video. It's that's it. So that's how I can do a workout between 60 and 90 minutes of ring juggling and still qualifying 8 rings with 16 catches. So I hope this video is of use to you, and as you continue your workouts, if you still like to juggle and you're getting on in years and you're wondering how many other jugglers still practice their juggling for themselves or even as a performer, there it is. So that's what I'm able to do, and I hope that you like and subscribe to my channel and enjoy my content. And thanks for your support, and thanks for watching my video. Have a good day. Bye.